Peace, family. All right, so a white feminist reached out to me and she told me she felt I was very powerful, and basically she tried to persuade me with compliments to be a part of the feminist movement. She said she felt I was fighting the wrong cause and that sexism was worse than racism because women have always been discriminated against, have always been oppressed, have not had the same equal rights as men no matter what the race. And she thought I would be a major asset to the movement. And so I want to go ahead and address this so everybody knows where I stand when it comes to feminism, especially black feminism. Black feminism branched from white feminism, which initially had absolutely nothing to do with the black man or the black woman. The only reason the white woman reached out to the black woman was because she needed numbers, was because she needed signatures. The same way this white woman only reached out to me was because she thought I would be an asset. The same way politicians only pay black people any attention when they need our votes. Okay? So the white feminism, it had absolutely nothing to do with.
Notice when the white feminist said sexism is worse than racism. Red flag right there. Red flag right there. And you're talking to a black woman about that. Sexism is worse than racism. She already messed up right then and there. Anytime, you hear from these groups like this, sexism, and it's been said that black women are a double minority. Okay. One, they're a woman. Two, they're black. So they're hit harder. Okay. Dealing with racism in our society.
Us. It had everything to do with the white man not treating the white woman right. It had everything to do with the white woman not having the same equal rights as the white man. But the black man and black woman got their equal rights at the same time. So even though the white woman was telling the black woman that the black man had more rights and more privilege than them, in all actuality, the white woman had more privilege and more rights than both the black man and the black woman. And so they whispered these ideas of integration into their ear, which is nothing but the illusion of inclusion. And because of that, it has been the biggest destruction of the black family and one of the most detrimental things that had ever happened to the black community ever. And still today, black women are still hollering about equal rights when the unemployment rate for black men is at 18%. Black women are more likely to be hired by a job now than black men. Black women.
I think with integration, with being segregated, it's like, how would black people deal with psychopaths like Michael Z. York or Brother Polite? Okay. Or Father Divine. How would they deal, or Umar Johnson? How would they deal with those psychopaths if they were segregated? Would they kick them out? Or would they let them thrive because they're black? And we all got to stick in it together. So this is what I see the dangers of also just being segregated. Because you will have blacks that will value skin color over doing the right thing, value skin color over doing what's right. Perfect example was Elijah Muhammad when Malcolm X exposed him for getting women pregnant, okay, and abandoning them. He was assassinated. Things I think about. Because it's just as much a risk of being segregated. And the wrong type of blacks get into power. Or because they have a nice speaking voice, or because they know how to talk and they have charisma. They make you feel good. Never mind if they bring any substance into it, if they have any tangibles or they have a good reputation, just because he talks good and he makes you feel good. He got that jive, that swag. You know how some blacks love swag. This is what I think about. Let's keep going.
woman can get more student loans now than a black man. A black woman that can't provide for her child financially can get assistance. A black man that can't provide for his child financially is going to go to jail. So, sisters, I'm not sure what we're hollering about when it comes to equal rights, because it seems the black man is the one that doesn't have equal rights. We have more privilege than him. And what corporations do these black men own to tell you you can't have equal pay? It's not the black man that you should be mad at, sisters. You got to look at it as a game of chess. Even though these white feminists say they hate their men, you got to know that they are still the mate of this white man. So they're going to protect that white king as they should in a game of chess. You should be protecting your black king. But see, they have infiltrated the black community by getting the black woman to turn her back on the black man. The welfare program is a perfect example, which tells us, sisters, that if you need help or want help from the white man, you have to turn your back on the black man. You have to give up the black man. If you want to live in these apartments, your children cannot have a father in the home. Also, think of another family structure that it brings about. Think of what it does to our career mothers. Okay? Now, they say that the most educated group of people in America.
Now hold on, that is true with the welfare. That is true. Okay. The fact of the matter is you have to get on that, and if you ever try to get above the welfare, they take everything away. And you can't have a man in the home. So it kind of gives an incentive to be a single mother, which is dangerous. I think it only should be given, women on hard times and, to get back on their feet. But after we say, if you get pregnant one more time, you're kicked off the program. That should be put in there, because you have a lot of women that are just using that to just get comfortable and have a bunch of kids because they collect a check. And it damages the mentality of black women to live life on easy mode.
Now was the black woman, and I love that. But so many of our sisters now have these careers and have these degrees, and all of a sudden they don't see value in the black man. They don't need a man. They don't want a man. And so a lot of them don't want families. They don't want to reproduce, or they wait until they're no longer fertile to try to reproduce and have complications in their pregnancies. Or they already have children, but they don't spend any time with them because they're always working. It used to be the man would be the one providing for the family, and the woman would stay home and teach and nurture the children. And together they would raise the children. Now children aren't being raised. They're just being maintained. Putting a roof over their head, feeding them and clothing them, that's maintaining a child like a pet. That's not raising them. You understand? And so that is a really big issue when it comes to the black family. And all of that came about from this feminism shit. Another thing that this feminist thing has done is this Planned Parenthood thing. Planned Parenthood.
Also, back in the day, white women, were also slave owners back in the day. 30% of them, the slave owners were women, white women. They owned blacks. Okay. Feminism doesn't give a damn about black women. It doesn't. It's just about furthering white women's power goals to be equal to her white male counterpart. That is true. And that's the thing. Women, they want to be, these women want to be equal to men. Like I just mentioned, 30% back in the day, 30% of slave owners were women. They wanted to be equal to men, and they were doing anything to be equal, even owning black people and using black women as, a means to end to get their goals. They didn't give a damn about the black man or the black woman or the black family. You can look into history. You'll see this. You will read it for yourself. Okay? At one time, they were getting support from Britain, but then one time they messed up and burned a black woman pregnant, and the baby came out. The British found out about it, and they refused to fund them anymore in America, and they had to change their ways about it. Racism is real, and white supremacy is real, very real.
Parenthood is formerly known as the Negro Project, and the founder of the Negro Project was a woman named Margaret Sanger, which was a racist woman that said black people are like human weeds that need to be exterminated. And now these Planned Parenthood clinics are concentrated in predominantly black urban areas. And the majority of the abortions done in America are done by black women. They say the number one killer of blacks is abortion. A lot of people would debate that and say you.
That is true. Abortion kills more black people than black on black crime. You know, that is true. Abortion kills more blacks than police brutality. This is the facts. She's spitting facts, and a lot of black people aren't going to like her because she's holding black women accountable and she's telling the truth. This is the reason why Sara Lena has a man. The reason why she's married, the reason why, because she's accepted the truth, that she's worked on herself and she has a man and she sees the game being played. But a lot of these liberal black women don't want to do that. They think that, white women who are feminists are their friend. No, I do not hate white women. Okay. But if you are a white feminist, you are the enemy of black women and black people because you're using them as a means to an end. Get what you want and black women be damned. Well, it's a black man.
You can't kill something that's not alive, but you are destroying a life that is growing inside of you. That is killing. You are helping us exterminate ourselves. These white feminists, they are not your friend. They are the mate of these white men that want you gone. And think of also what it does to our children that are growing up without fathers in the home. Think of our daughters that don't have fathers. And so they go out here and they do everything they can to get male attention. A lot of times that brings them back into the welfare program as single mothers themselves. I'm not saying that's always the case, but it's too common for us to ignore. Also, think of our young brothers. I'm not even going to address homosexuality. Let's talk about those brothers that whose mothers don't know how to discipline them correctly. They don't have fathers. They're not being taught any type of manhood either. And so they go into these schools. The teachers don't know what to do with them. So they throw them in special ed.
Yeah, I've realized that there is an agenda, basically with bringing that, the alphabet gang behavior into the black community. Um, even with the Netflix show Black Lightning, they had a girl on girl scene. Even a couple of years ago, Malik Yoba was talking about how he liked the Transformers and stuff until he was canceled. Um, you just see it. I mean, they're just plastic, always putting black people as the face of that, sexualizing black people. I mean, Michael K. Williams, right? People are saying that they're celebrating him because of his work as a man that would be in compromising situations with another man or doing certain scenes. That is not cool. I'm sorry. That doesn't resonate masculinity with me. That doesn't resonate strength. Looking at those compromising positions he was in, it it, it made my eyes cringe. Like I couldn't look at the picture. It was cringe. It was just super cringe. Like I couldn't keep my food down. That's you. People got to be honest. That is what Michael K. Williams is known for. Doing those type of scenes. That's what he's known for. And that's what he'll go down in history as being known. A lot of times, sometimes these, black actors are typecast. Okay. And they try to even push them to wear dresses. This isn't talked about. And they try so hard. I mean, even Kid Cudi putting a dress. All right. They try so hard to crush a, black man being masculine. That most of these black actors, to get into Hollywood, they have to wear a dress. Dave Chappelle fought that crap. Then they tried to make him crazy, try to say he was crazy. There's an agenda. There's a big agenda. And feminism is perfectly okay with that. Perfectly okay with that. And they want black women to side with them on it.
We all know special ed is nothing but a holding cell for black boys until they're old enough to go to jail. That's all that is. It is one of the most detrimental things that has ever happened to the black community, and I will not stand by it. One more thing that I want to address is this damn campaign that tells sisters, love your body regardless of what a man. It ain't got nothing to do with the man, the way you treat your body. You understand? They praise and glorify obesity in the black community, but they don't do that in the white community, only in the black community. And now the leading causes of death for black women are diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and cancer. They tell you to love your body, love the skin you're in. Don't let no man make you not love your body. But they don't tell you to love yourself enough to eat right. They don't tell you to love yourself and have enough self-respect for yourself to not kill yourself by what you're shoving down your throat.
See? And this is the problem with the Lizzo situation. Okay? You're having like these ridiculous things like fat shaming. You know, if you work out, you're fat phobic. You know, you're pushing all this stuff, you know, in the black community. Even the movie Soul Food. All right. Big Mama eating all those unhealthy foods. Big Mama had to lose her leg. Still eating that unhealthy food. Big Mama die. Okay. And that's pushed in it is pushed in the black community. It is pushed. You don't see that push in the Asian community. You don't see that pushed in the white community because they understand the damages, how it could damage your body. Okay. But in the black community, I'm not gonna lie, you got some overweight people in in other ethnic groups, but it's not looked upon as something of beauty. It's not. It's repulsed. And those women don't get men. Okay? They don't. However, in the black community, worse is they try to shame their sons to try to date women like that. Or worse, they try to have their sons to be son husbands because they can't get no man looking that way, being that overweight, and refusing to lose weight and make attempts to lose the weight. Because they feel that they are enough. When in reality, that is a lie. Because guess what? They wouldn't date an obese man. They wouldn't date an obese man because they know it's nasty. What do you think a man who looks at you and then you say you want him, but you over 300 pounds, you want him, but he's not overweight. He looks at you with disgust and you think he's shaming you. Oh, he's fat. He's fat phobic. He's wrong. He's a bully. He's nasty. No, he's living in reality. Okay. And that is the truth. There's a real big war against blacks when it comes to these things. And sad to say that there are blacks that are cool with it and they're at war with people who actually want to live right and eat healthy. And they would even try to shame those blacks to accept them or to eat unhealthy.
You get what I'm saying? Don't these white feminists, they're not your friend. They're not your friend. And I do not stand by any of it. I refuse to turn my back on the black man to hold hands with some white chick. The war on our black man has been insane. Has been insane. They have done everything they can to destroy the black man, to destroy the image of the black man. They want you dead. They want you gay. They want you incarcerated. And they want us to see no value in you. And I'm not supporting that feminism shit. I'm just not. I really am not. And it was an insult to me that somebody would even approach me with that shit. It was an insult to my intelligence. It was an insult to my loyalty to the black community. It was an insult to the black man. And if you're insulting the black man, you are insulting me because we are reflections of each other. It was an insult to my ability to think for myself because a lot of these black feminists, Not all of them, but a lot of them, they just don't think for themselves. They're just listening to what white people are telling them about black men. They are listening to these celebrities that are telling you that girls run the world and we don't need men, while all the while they sitting at home married to one. They're watching these television shows.
Exactly. Like Cardi B talking about, oh, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I got this ring. She's cooking and sweep. You see her videos of her sweeping, cleaning, when she's with Offset at home. Girls run the world, but she's with Jay-Z. The same thing with this, white feminism, bringing feminism to black women and telling them they should stand up for themselves and not be oppressed by the black man. But they going home to their husbands. Meanwhile, the black woman is going home to an empty bed or just kids, and that's it. Or being with a man that they don't really want.
All of these black women are single and yet they're successful. Yeah, I think for myself, I don't need this programming. It was an insult. It was an insult. So, yes, no, I would never ever be a feminist. I stand by the black man and I love my black man and I would never ever turn my back on him. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now,
And that's basically it, man. It's sad. It really is. Because they are basically selling you a dream. They're selling black women a dream, but they're not happy. Some of them are committing suicide. Some of them have gone to the other team, and they're not even happy over there. Meanwhile, you have these feminists going home to their husband, who may find them insufferable, but they still have a family and their kids under one roof. Meanwhile, black women struggling. Okay? Talking all types of nonsense. All right? And it's really sad, man. It is. Because many black women are duped into this. And all they leave behind is just unhappy kids, traumatized kids, emasculated boys, masculine girls, and broken homes. They're rebellious against their husbands, ruining opportunities to be with the right man. And sad thing is, this type of toxic mindset is passed on to generation. That's the sad thing. And it's terrible. It's terrible. You know what? Let me do a reaction also to the next one. I feel I should do that one too. Let's go on for that one too.
how she makes less than her male counterpart. In this video, she is rapping about feminism and how she makes less than her male counterparts and how men have all of these things that women don't have. And so I'm not going to take away from anything that the sister said, but there are some things that I do want to add. All right. First of all, understand that for every dollar that the white man makes, the black woman makes 64 cents. Black men make about 73% of what the white men make. And white women, for that same dollar, make 82 cents. All right. Black women every week make about $610. Black men every week make about $666. And then white women every week make about $718. So these two different statistics alone show that the white woman, the one who you decided to hold hands with and march with and protest with and scream women's rights with, the one that has you going against your man, makes more money than both you and the black man. And you know who makes more money than the white woman and the white man? The Asian woman and the Asian man. You know why? Because it's not a gender issue. It's a racial issue because we are.
See, that's sad. That is sad. Okay, this white woman in your face talking to you about you being oppressed and everything like that, but she ain't fighting for equality for you to get the same pay as she does. That is something. You're oppressed. You're oppressed. I won't let you get an opportunity to make the same money I have, but I'll just say you're oppressed. But you're oppressed under her? Man, listen.
Are in an economic race. I feel like I need to break this down, dumb this down just a little bit more so my people can understand it. It's track season, so we're going to use track as an analogy, okay? Analogy. Let's say you are on a track team. You're on the girls' team and you have a boyfriend on the boys' team. Y'all are wearing the same jersey. Y'all are representing the same school, the same team. It would not make much sense for you to go to this track team, the track meet, and say to him, I'm really mad at you because you ran the 400-meter race in 49 seconds and I ran it in 55 seconds. I want to be equal to you. I want to run it as fast as you do. They're not going to do that. You know why? Because at the end of the track meet, they're going to tally up all of the scores and they're not going to say, well, you know what, the men did better than the women today. You know what they're going to do? They're going to say which team collectively did the best and which team collectively did the worst. So if he's losing his races and you're losing all of your races, then together y'all are losing as a team. Y'all are both doing a very bad job together representing y'all's school.
See, that's what I like. You know, the Asian culture is very traditional, very patriarchal, and they learn to have to work together. They have to work together. It's not like the black man and the black woman, the African American culture, where, you know, they competing. You know, the black woman is competing with the black man because she wants to be the best. Okay, Asian culture, they understand that men and women are not equal, but they are to be respected, and they harmonize with each other due to the fact that their differences.
Make any sense? And I think this feminism crap is causing us to lose focus in this economic race. Instead of us working together, uplifting, encouraging, empowering each other so that we can help each other progress in this race, we decide to pull each other down and go against each other like crabs in a barrel when we on the same team. That doesn't make any sense. That feminism crap is not for us and it's not helping us. It's not. And it didn't start with us. It originated in Europe. When it first started, really, in the 16 and the 1700s, that's when it really started. It just didn't have a name to it yet. You know what we were doing then? We were slaves. It had nothing to do with us. And when
That is funny. And you have black women fighting so hard for this. You originated in Europe and stuff, but what were you doing in Europe? You were either working in a brothel or you were cleaning the toilets or cleaning the kitchen pots and pans. If you were black, that's how it was. You know, you see women fighting for this stuff, black women fighting for this, but black women have always thought of the bottom of the shoe of the white woman due to feminism. Feminism, you know, white supremacist women used feminism to get what they wanted and used black women as mules to get what. Ah, man. Still, black women will not get it. They will not drop feminism.
women's suffrage crap started when they wanted to vote in Europe. That was in Finland, in Russia, in Norway. When they did decide to start doing that here in America, you know what we were doing as black people then? We were doing just fine, segregated. We're doing just fine with high entrepreneurship, high employment, with a strong family structure, supporting each other, working with each other. That's when Black Wall Street was actually at its peak. You know what I mean? We were doing fine as a people, segregated. But that's when they decided to infiltrate and integrate us. And that's when the white woman decided to use the Black woman as a tool to carry out her agenda. And once she reached her goal, once she achieved that goal, that agenda, she pushed the Black woman to the side and she no longer cared about her needs and issues. And you know why I say that? It's because even once the Black man and the Black woman were granted their rights to vote, the white woman had her right to vote, there were still barriers that prevented Black women and men from voting, like literacy tests, poll taxes. They did everything they could to keep both the man and the woman from voting. But the white woman could vote, so she didn't care. She wasn't out marching and screaming, let them vote. No, she didn't give a fuck. Excuse my language. She didn't care because you helped her reach her goal. That's all she.
Exactly. You Black women were a means to an end. Just looked at them as a nice, good old donkey to use. With ovaries, just like them, to use and abuse and exploit to get what they wanted. Once they got the equality with the white man, they didn't even want Black women to vote or Black men.
She cared about. It wasn't until the 60s where they executed those barriers that was preventing us from voting. And you know who was out there getting beaten to death? You know who was out there having dogs attacking them, being sprayed down by water hoses? It wasn't the white woman. It was the Black man and the Black woman together fighting for their equal rights. It wasn't the white woman. Because she don't care about you. She didn't then and she doesn't now. She is the manufacturing system of the Caucasian man. Guess who raises the Caucasian man? The Caucasian woman. Where do you think he gets that from? She has co-owned everything that he has owned since slavery. She is his mate, his partner. Why are we still out here holding hands with her, going against our men? That does not make any sense. And so if we want to continue talking about everything that our men have that we don't have, let's go ahead and add to this list. Our men have a higher chance of doing more time for the same crime. I'm pretty sure Mrs. Remy Ma knows that. Our men have a higher probability of being forced into war. Our men have a higher probability of doing more labor in the workplace. Our men have a higher probability of dying at the workplace. Our men have a higher probability of being murdered. Our men have a less chance, a less likelihood of getting custody of his child.
Exactly, but you won't hear Black feminists talk about equality, but you won't talk about that issue, about Black men very less likely to get custody of their kid, less likely, even if the mother's a drug addict or the mother has a boyfriend that's abusing the man's child. There was a story that happened a couple of months ago of a man who's trying to fight for custody, wrote a letter to the judge about the suspicions about his child being abused. Judge ignored it. She was female, and the child died.
Now let's look at some other statistics of Black and white women. Black women are 3 times more likely to go to jail than white women. The poverty rate of Black women is at 28%. And for white women, it's at 10%. The unemployment rate for Black women is at 10%. For white women, it's at 5%. We could keep going, but let's stop there. I just want my people to understand. I want my sisters to understand that you are fighting the wrong battle. You're going against the wrong people. These white women that have you thinking that you need to go against your man are not your friend. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I've said it before. I'm not.
There you have it, folks. Feminism is just racism with ovaries, and it's white supremacy. It's just another how do I say, another tentacle of white supremacy. They want to be down with their white male counterparts so bad, the racist white male counterparts so bad, that if it meant hanging you in front of them to be equal, they would. This is how it is. This is why minority women, period, should stay the hell away from feminism. Stay the hell away. Okay? Period. You had a bad experience with a man, you had a bad experience with one man. If you had a bad experience with many men, then you have to look at yourself in the mirror. Just like men who have bad experience with multiple women, he has to look at himself in the mirror. Patriarchy is still good. It's a man that you allow in your life to be the patriarch of the family that you want to create with him. Okay? Patriarchy is good. Feminism is toxic. All right. Well, I'm on Anchor.fm. I'm on Podbean, Hard Talk Radio. I'm on Twitter, Teller99Truth, Instagram, Red Pill Man, and I'm on Spotify. All right. Later. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.